What a fascinating journey it has been in the past few episodes, whereby every week we talk to you about Japji Sahib. And because we talk in English, the idea is, as we always emphasize, to connect with our youth and also with the mainstream community. Guru Nanak's philosophy is phenomenal. Basically, what he told us was to become good human beings. And it's a simple way of life. And Gurbani, Guru Granth Sahib, what is written over there, is a way to how to live a better life. But unfortunately, today we just think that doing some rituals we can reach God, which absolutely we cannot do. And that is what Guru Nanak Sahib has emphasized. In the previous episode, we had talked about from body number 8 to body number 11 of the concept of suniye, that is listening. What does it mean? And it was very clearly clarified that listening is not just to listen, it is basically internalizing the message of Guru Granth Sahib and following it on our daily life, and how we live, how we walk, how we talk, and how we behave with others, and how our moral character, how our physical, and how our dealings with the people are. Let's continue with this journey today also, and from body number 12, Sardar Harbans Singh Kandola will take us on this journey. Let's welcome him to this program. Ji Anu ji, Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.
Harpreet ji, as you mentioned, we talked about 48 to 11, the concept of suniye, which Guru Nanak talked about the transformation of consciousness that happens when you understand, internalize, and live the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. You can achieve bliss and harmony. Now we talked about body 12, and the other thing, Harpreet ji, I want to mention here that to understand Gurbani, this is what I, my last 2 weeks spent kind of trying to understand, is that Gurbani must be understood, interpret in relevance to daily life.
That's right.
Gurbani must be interpreted, the Gurbani speak to the mind. It's the thought process. When we talked about Gurbani in those lines, then we definitely learn from it.
That's right.
In our daily life.
And that is where, like you have mentioned, that it should be relevant to our daily life. Probably we have failed in this concept that we have not been able to bring Gurbani to that level whereby it is connected to us in our daily lives. And that is why there we are finding lots of problems in the community, that no doubt there's a lot of prachar, there's a lot of talk about Gurbani, but that is not being reflected in our behavior, it is not being reflected in our character.
It's not been taught that way.
That's right.
Over the centuries,
right,
it hasn't been taught that way, that it's a matter of changing your behavior.
That's right.
It's not by getting a son or elections, getting the gifts of a material thing.
And that's what Guru Gobind Singh also said, Rehat pyari moko sikh pyara nahi. And Rehat is not just reading 5 banis, that's what it is. Rehat is your daily conduct of life.
And we definitely need to understand that.
Right.
It's talking about the change of your behavior.
Right.
Now let's carry on the journey. And Guru says, "Manne ki gat kahi na jaye." We'll talk about this. "Manne ki gat kahi na jaye, je ko kahe, piche pachtaye. Kagad kalam na likhan har, manne kaave karm vichar. Aisa naam niranjan hoye je ko man jane, man koi." Subject of Pauris 12, 13, 14, 15 is the same as it Pauri 11, 8 to 11. And we, again, when we understood the word suniye here, we need to understand the 2 words, manne. Manne means the follower who has realized the truth, lived the truth, and spiritually awakened person is called manne. Jisne man liya. And we mentioned so many times that it's like living the truth.
Living the truth.
Living the truth.
Absolutely. Not just speaking.
Yes. Not by just by speaking. The other word is manna with the double lama hega. Agar koi man lave. When devotee realizes the truth, and those things happen. The 2 small differences. Manne ki gat kahi na jaye. Nanak says, the follower, the Sikh, who has realized the truth, lived the truth, spiritually awakened person is free of ego, worries, stress, fear. Life is full of bliss. Sahaj avastha aa jandi hai. And it's hard to explain this state of consciousness. Guru says it's the all-around experience sweetness in life. ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਬਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ
right.
This is what Guru Nanak is saying and your state of consciousness is so elevated
Right.
and it's hard to explain and it's like Guru says that describing the ocean, if you try to describe ocean from the experience of waves, you cannot describe that. Cannot be explained, the happiness. Khushi byan nahi kiti jaye. Je ko kahe, piche pachtaye. Je ko kahe, piche pachtaye. Harpreet ji, I worked on this quite a bit. What it really means, like interpretation, as we mentioned before, it has to be practical, relevant to the daily life. Now, if you are spiritually awakened, a pious person, for example, I say so, I praise you, je ko kaha piche pachtaye, some people would have interpreted this way. And why repent and feel bad about it?
Right.
And if you're spiritually awakened, I praise you, I say so, why should I have to be repentant? Je ko kahe piche pachtaye. Then I say, what is Guru is saying here? Now, then I figured out this, try to analyze this. Guru is saying, those who have realized God, realized truth, spiritually awakened, do not boast about it. ਉਹ ਪੰਡੋਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਿੱਟਦੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ
Right.
ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾ ਲਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ.
This is what Guru Sahib is saying. But if you do so, you have dropped one ego,
And
you gain
acquired another ego.
another
Absolutely.
ego.
Very true.
And you are back to square one.
Very true.
That's where ਜੇ ਕੋ ਕਹੇ, if you start ਢੰਡੋਰਾ ਪਿੱਟ ਮੈਂ 2 ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ and then ਤੇਰੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਤਰੀ
खत्म हो
ਪੈ
गई.
ਜਾਏਗੀ, you will
Right.
gain another ego. But you can also interpret that the person who does not know is not spiritually awakened and he's boasting about it, and then he will continue suffering in pain.
That's right.
And anxiety. Now, kagad karm na likhanhar. Guru says the higher consciousness, again we repeated this topic many times in the last
being
episode.
emphasized again and again.
Guru says higher consciousness is not a matter of writing, discussion and debate. It is a realizing and living the truth. That's what matters.
Right.
You know, kagad kalam na likhanhar. That's what it matters. The simple discussion will not change your consciousness.
Right.
Aisa naam naranjan hoye je ko
Man jane man koe.
God is treasure of virtues, Baba Nanak is saying, in all goodness and free from ego and vices. Guru says, only those who submit to the will of God, hukum pana, attain the virtues, realize the truth, ਉਹ ਬਿਰਲੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ.
ਠੀਕ.
ਜੇ ਕੋ ਮਨ ਜਾਣੇ ਮਨ ਕੋਏ ਬਿਰਲੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. And then ਮੰਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਪੌੜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗੀ, ਮੰਨੇ ਸੁਰਤ ਹੋਵੇ ਮਨ ਬੁੱਧ, ਮੰਨੇ ਸਗਲ ਭਵਨ ਕੀ ਸੁਧ, ਮੰਨੇ ਮੋਹ ਝੋਟਾ ਨਾ ਖਾਏ, ਮੰਨੇ ਜਮ ਕੇ ਸਾਥ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ. Manne, this word is manne here.
Right.
That if and when people, the Sikh realize the truth, when devotee meditate on the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, submit to the will of God, Pana, Raja, realize the truth, become spiritually awakened of higher consciousness. Manne sagal pavan ki sud. I think this is important to understand. As one scholar interpreted this way, the follower, the Sikh, gained the knowledge about the world or the universe. Now, I was thinking, is this Gurbani about gaining the knowledge of the world, of the universe, or the Gurbani is about gaining the knowledge, or it is about changing your behavior, your consciousness? And as we mentioned, Gurbani has to be interpreted in the context of daily life.
Right.
So actually, here, Manne Sagal Pavan Ki Sud means God is immersed in the whole universe. The whole universe operates according to the laws of nature, the will of God, the hukum, the raja, the pana. And that truth can only be realized by submitting to the divine will. Manne mo chota na khaye. It doesn't mean that I get hit in the face, literal meaning.
That's right.
Mo chota na khaye means those who walk on the spiritual path, realize truth, their sorrows, worries, and their stress, fear are eliminated, are destroyed.
That's right.
That means manne moh chota.
Manne moh chota na khaye. But here again, as you very rightly mentioned, Kandola Sahib, okay, generally what happens is it's not going to be that if you are reading Gurbani, all your problems will disappear. Gurus also face these problems. But it was how they were reacting to that. Your attitude, your consciousness, as you said, changes. And then, you know, even sorrow also, you accept it as a will of God, because your mind has elevated to such a level where your consciousness understands that basically living in this world, all these physical ailments, physical problems will be there. But how you react is what is making a difference.
When you have totally spiritually awakened and you live on the Pana and the will of God, obviously your balanced life becomes a very balanced, and your ego, sin, evil thoughts are transformed.
Right.
This is important.
Yeah.
And when you become virtuous and goodness, manna jam ke saath na jaye. This means in Sikh doctrine, calm, sexual lust, the krodh, the anger, lobh, greed, moh, attachment to the things, the worldly thing, the form, hankar, ego, is all called jam. It doesn't mean Dharmaraj de bheje jehde jamdoot ne. Guru is not talking about there. Guru is talking about
more. Absolutely. There's time for a break because this needs a little bit more explanation. Kandola Sahib, we'll come back and we'll start off from about this concept of jam and what the Guru is trying to tell us and how we are interpreting, because today what we are finding, there are websites by the Sikhs whereby they have created those jams and they are showing how people are being dragged, and if the Sikhs don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. So we'll continue with the discussion. Let's go for a short break. We'll come back, and today we have started off with Paudi number 12, whereby from 12 to 15 Paudis the Guru Sahib is talking about manne. What is this concept? As Harbans Singh Kandola has told us, we will continue on the spiritual elevation after this break.